Today we'll be talking about the United Kingdom. This presentation is by Maleesha Morris, and I'll be discussing the global etiquette, dining practices, as well as business customs, the male and female relationship, and workplace equality as compared to the United States for all of the United Kingdom, which covers England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. There are several dining practices that are known throughout the world, and in particular I'll be talking about the one used in the United Kingdom versus the one used in the United States. The two different styles are known as continental and zigzag styles, and I'll review each in detail in a moment. We'll also talk about the setting of the table as well as the length of meals, the timing of meals in the United Kingdom, tipping practices, as well as types of foods that are native to countries in the There are two different styles of dining that I will review today. One is the continental style, which is used in the UK, versus the zigzag style, which is used in America. In the continental style, they eat with their fork tines down, which are the prongs on their forks. They point down towards the table at all times. The fork stays in the left hand, and they use their knife with their right hand only, and they do not switch back and forth. And they also lay their utensils down in different places to signal the wait staff that either they're just resting from eating or that they are done. There's also the zigzag style, which is the American style, and we eat with our fork tines up towards, not towards the plate, but up, and then we turn it over and point them down while we're cutting our food. However, we switch our fork to our left hand when we are cutting using a knife, and use the knife in our right hand. And once we're done with the knife, we lay it on the side of the plate, and then switch our fork back to our right hand to eat. And then we eat with the fork tines up, which helps us scoop the food into the fork more easily, and which is different in the UK, because if they cannot stab their food, then they use the knife to push the food up onto the top of the fork, and with the tines down, it makes it sort of complicated to eat that way. And also in the US, we lay our fork and our knife in different places to signal that we are either done or just resting. There are a few other dining practices that I'd like to review quickly in regards to the United Kingdom. Table settings, because the Europeans have more courses during their meals, there are more utensils that are set out on the table. But for the most part, the people in the United Kingdom and the United States set the table, the place settings, pretty much the same way. The length of the meals tend to be longer because there are more courses served, and time is viewed differently between the two countries. In America, we are very monochronic, and we think that time is money, so we don't we tend to see that taking long times in meals is a waste of time, and we don't do that. However, in the UK, they don't see time in the same way that we do. The timing of meals is pretty much the same between the two. Breakfast is served between 7 and 8 a.m. However, in the United States, because time is money to us and we're always rushing to get somewhere, we tend to skip meals. However, they don't skip meals in the UK. Lunch is a light meal, which is similar in the US and is served around 1 p.m. And dinner is usually consumed around 8 or 9 p.m., which is considerably later than people in the United States tend to consume dinner. Tipping practices in the United Kingdom and in the United States are different. In the UK, a 10% tip is considered reasonable and appropriate, and in the United States, we tip between 15 and 20%, which is what we feel is appropriate. So this is how we eat in the United States versus the UK. So we hold our knife and our fork. Knife goes in right hand always. Fork stays in our left hand. However, we put our fork in our right hand in the United States, and then when we get ready to use our knife, we switch our fork to the left, flip it upside down to then cut our food. But we do not do that in the UK. So this is how we eat, and then we switch our fork back to the other hand in the US and use it tines up to eat. But in the UK, you can either stab it with it down, or you eat from the top of the fork with it down. It takes a little practice to get used to this. This is the difference. Now when we're ready to take a break, to show that to take a drink of our water, we lay our fork and knife in different places. We leave our knife on the side of the plate and lay the fork down. However, in the UK, we lay our knife down and then we lay our fork over the top, tines down to take a drink of our water. And then we will continue to eat our food. And once we are done, we lay our knife and our fork down to signal that we are finished by just laying them on the plate. Just like Sue Ellen has done here in her plate for the UK. The UK people really don't understand why we constantly switch our forks back and forth, but this is what we do. It's called the zigzag style versus the continental style. There are several foods that are considered delicacies in the UK that seem unusual or weird to us in the United States. One is haggis, which is a sheep's heart, liver, and lungs that's basically put inside a bag and cooked. And it's from Scotland, and they find it a rare delicacy. Another is called black pudding, which is basically a sausage that is cooked from pig's blood, which to us in the United States seems very, very disgusting, or at least it does to me. And then there is shepherd's pie, which was originally from England, which was made from not sheep, but lamb's, lamb or mutton. And in the United States, we have shepherd's pie. We usually make it with beef. And also there is tea and crumpets, which is a big part of, tea is a very big part of the diet of most people from Great Britain, and they are served in the afternoon snacks with crumpets, which is a biscuit type thing. Next, we will be talking about the male and female relationship and workplace equality in the United Kingdom. It is much the same as in the United States. Women have regressed in the business world and are having more positions as managers and directors and VPs and so forth. However, there is a worldwide issue that women receive lower salaries and fewer promotions than men do, which takes place in every country, and that's what the United Kingdom and the United States have in common. However, there is a practice in the United Kingdom where men are expected to treat women with respect, and such as standing when a woman enters a room and holding doors open and things like that, which this practice seems to have gone out of practice in the United States. We tend to think of it as chivalry. However, most men don't do it and women don't expect it here, but in the United Kingdom it is expected of men to treat women in such ways.
Hello, Miss Morris.
Hello.
Miss Lopez.
Pretty solid.
Why don't you take my seat?
Sure.
Also, British people are quite formal, so when you meet someone for the first time in business, you use their last name, and in the United States we tend to use first names right away. Class divisions still really exist in the United Kingdom, and so the difference between men and women in the workplace tend to be more about class differences than gender. And the workplace equality, there's an article that a psychology student at the University of California wrote, and it said that workplace equality has progressed in the United Kingdom, but there still seems to be some inequalities, and that women have to tend to conform to masculinist styles of management. And you can see this in the United States. These here are my references for this video, and I hope that you have enjoyed it while I reviewed the dining practices as well as workplace equality in the United Kingdom. My cast of characters is shown here, and I want to thank everyone for helping me with this assignment.